Good morning, friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In the previous video, we are discussing about the stress distribution in the horizontal plane and how stress is distributed through the horizontal plane. We are also understanding the some of the theories regarding to stress distribution in the horizontal plane. In this video, we are learning about the vertical stresses in soil for the vertical stress distribution or the vertical stress distribution in a vertical plane. As per shown in the figure, that may be some of that distance r from that our point of loading, and we have to identify that what are the vertical stress distribution profile on that particular length. For that, we are using the some of the theories, and that are the vertical stress distribution profile. So that may be some of the point load has been induced on that soil surface, and in that next we are showing that stress profile at distance r and at a various depth level in a vertical profiles of soil zone. Now that may be some of that conclusions or the some of the terminology we have to understand before the vertical stresses in soil. Stress isobar. What is a stress isobar? An isobar is a line which connects all points of equal stress below the ground surface. In other words, an isobar is a stress contour. આપણે જાણીએ છીએ કે મેઝરમેન્ટમાં જ્યારે આપણે કંટુર સર્વે કરતા હતા ત્યારે જે એલિવેશન પોઈન્ટ ઇક્વલ્સ હોય એમને આપણે જોઈન કરીએ અને જે લાઈન બનતી હતી એમને શું કહેતા આપણે કંટુર, બરાબર. એવી જ રીતે જ્યારે આપણે સ્ટ્રેસ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશનની અંદર ઇક્વલ સ્ટ્રેસ વાળે જે પોઈન્ટને જોઈન કરીને જે આપણને સર્કલ મળે એમને આપણે શું કહીએ? આઈસોબાર્સ કહીએ, બરાબર છે. આઈસોબાર્સ જનરલી પ્રેશર ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ કરવા માટે હોય છે. જ્યારે વેધરિકલ કન્ડિશનના મેપ આપણે જોઈએ, વેધર મેપ્સ, ત્યારે પણ એમની અંદર આઈસોબાર્સ હોય છે. સોઇલની અંદર સ્ટ્રેસ ફાઇન્ડ કરવામાં પણ આપણે આઈસોબાર ડ્રો કરીએ અને ફાઇન્ડ કરી શકીએ કે કયા ઝોનની અંદર કેટલો સ્ટ્રેસ છે લાગે છે. Now that may be some of the example. So how can we determine that particular values? We are using that previous formulas, right? That is a stress due to concentrated load, IB 3 upon 2 pi 1 upon 1 plus r by z square raised to 5 by 2. That are the formula that I should previously discuss, and that formula we are using in that particular equation, and you have to work out that example. તમારે હાથે છે એ આ એક્ઝામ્પલ છે એ સોલ્વ કરવાનું. પ્રીવિયસ જે ટેબલ્સ અને એક્ઝામ્પલનું ફોર્મ્યુલા આપેલું છે એમના બેઝિસ ઉપર r by z ઉપરથી તમને IB ની વેલ્યુ મળશે, બરોબર છે. that are the value of r, right? From there to here, that are the value of r, and for that force, that are the value of r, and that are the value of z, that are the constant 2.5 meter for both the forces, and you have to determine the stress at point A using this formula. Using this formula, 3p upon sigma z is equal to p upon z square IB. That may be your p, and first you have to determine the IB for separately for both the loads. For determining the IB, we have to consider only two parameters, r by z. Both are the different in case of both the loads. See, આમની અંદર બંને લોડ અલગ અલગ છે એટલે r by z નું વેલ્યુ અલગ થશે એટલે IB ની વેલ્યુ બદલશે. બાકીનું ફોર્મ્યુલામાં જે p વેલ્યુ છે પેલા ફોર્સ માટે p1 અને બીજા ફોર્સ માટે p2, એટલે બંનેનું તમારે સેપરેટલી કેલ્ક્યુલેટ કરી અને બંનેનું સમેશન કરી દેવાનું. જે તમારો સ્ટ્રેસ આવે વર્ટિકલ સ્ટ્રેસ એ તમારો એક્ચ્યુઅલ સ્ટ્રેસ એટ પોઈન્ટ એ હશે. નાવ આમની અંદર 4 કોન્સન્ટ્રેટેડ ફોર્સીસ આપેલા છે અને કોર્નર ઉપર એક્ટિંગ થાય છે રેક્ટેન્ગ્યુલર એરિયાના, અને એમનું ડાયમેન્શન છે 8 મીટર બાય 6 મીટર. આ રીતે જે ફિગરમાં શો કરેલું છે. હવે આપણે વર્ટિકલ સ્ટ્રેસ પોઈન્ટ એ અને બી ઉપર કરવાનો છે, અને એ અને બીબી વડે જે લોકેટ કરેલી લાઈન છે, અને 4 મીટર બિલો ધી ગ્રાઉન્ડ સરફેસ. બરોબર, આપણે એ પોઈન્ટ ઉપર અને બી પોઈન્ટ ઉપર આપણે લોકેટ કરવાનો છે. હવે આર આમના માટે શું થાય? આ ફોર્સ માટે આમના માટે 4 વખત આપણે ફોર્મ્યુલા એપ્લાય કરશું, એટલે આઈબી છે આપણે 4 વખત કેલ્ક્યુલેટ કરવો પડે દરેક અલગ કેસ માટે. અને પર્ટિક્યુલર કેસનો આઈબી છે એ આપણે જે તે ફોર્સના કારણે લાગતો જે સ્ટ્રેસ છે એમના વડે આપણે પુટ કરવાનો એના ઇક્વેશનમાં, અને જે આન્સર આવે એ પર્ટિક્યુલર પોઈન્ટ માટે, એટલે કે દરેક એક પોઈન્ટ માટે 4 વખત આપણે આઈબી કેલ્ક્યુલેટ કરવો પડે. હવે જ્યારે બી ઉપર જ્યારે આપણે આઈબી કેલ્ક્યુલેટ કરશું ત્યારે કેવો થશે? કોન્સ્ટન્ટ થશે, સેમ રહેશે બધા માટે આઈબી. શા માટે? કારણ કે આ ડિસ્ટન્સ છે એ 6 મીટર છે, આ ડિસ્ટન્સ છે 8 મીટર છે. હવે જ્યારે આર ફાઇન્ડ કરીએ, આર એટલે શું છે? એ ટ્રાન્સવર્સ ડિસ્ટન્સ નથી, બટ આર શું છે તો કે પરપેન્ડિક્યુલર ડિસ્ટન્સ છે ફ્રોમ ધી બી. એટલે જે ટોટલ 8 મીટર છે એની જગ્યાએ શું થઈ જાય અહીંયા? 4 મીટર. બરોબર. સો આર ની વેલ્યુ કેટલી હશે? 4, અને ઝેડ ની વેલ્યુ કેટલી થશે? એ પણ 4 મીટર. તો આર બાય ઝેડ એટલે 4/4 એટલે કે 1. જ્યારે આઈબી ની વેલ્યુ આપણે 1 આર બાય ઝેડ હોય ત્યારે કેટલી મળે એ જોવાનું આપણે. આમાં આર બાય ઝેડ કેટલો છે? હા, આર બાય ઝેડ 1. તો ત્યારે આઈબી ની વેલ્યુ હશે 0.1386. હવે એ જ આઈબી ની વેલ્યુ આપણે આ ફોર્મ્યુલાથી પણ ફાઇન્ડ થઈ શકે, અને આપણે ડાયરેક્ટલી ટેબલમાંથી પણ લઈ શકીએ. બરોબર, બંને ઓપ્શન છે. જ્યારે તમે ફોર્મ્યુલાનો યુઝ કરો છો ત્યારે તમારી પાસે થોડા ઘણા ડેટા હોય. આર બાય ઝેડ 1 છે અને પાઈની વેલ્યુ બધાને ખબર હોય છે. તમે આમાં પુટ કરીને પણ આઈબી ફાઇન્ડ આઉટ કરી શકો, અને ડાયરેક્ટ ટેબલમાંથી પણ લઈ શકો, અથવા તો એક્ઝામ્પલમાં આપેલો હોય ડેટા તો એ પણ યુઝ કરી શકો. 3 વેઝથી આઈબી મળે, અને એ આઈબી અહીંયા પુટ કરવાનું પર્ટિક્યુલર ફોર્સ માટે. અહીંયા ફોર્સ બદલતો રહે, અને ઝેડ ની વેલ્યુ કેવી રહે? કોમન રહે, કારણ કે બધા એક જ પોઈન્ટ ઉપર જ્યારે 4 લોડ દ્વારા આપણે ફોર્સ લાગતો હોય ત્યારે શું થાય કે ઝેડ વેલ્યુ કોન્સ્ટન્ટ રહે. એટલે આર બાય ઝેડ 1 આવે. અહીંયા પણ આર બાય ઝેડ કેવો આવે? 1 આવે. અહીંયા આર બાય ઝેડ ચેન્જ થશે. બરોબર, જ્યારે આપણે ટ્રાન્સવર્સ ડિસ્ટન્સ કેલ્ક્યુલેટ કરીએ ત્યારે. બરોબર છે. Now, next is the Westergaard formula for computation of vertical stress AZ by a point load P. How we can determine the AZ? Means vertical stress by a point load P at the surface. So AZ is equal to P into A upon 2nz square bracket a square plus r by z square raised to 3/2. That are the formula of vertical stress by a point load P at the surface. And value of A we can compute using that formula. A is not an area, right? That are the Poisson's ratio. Depend A is the one of that parameter that should depend on Poisson's ratio 1 minus 2 mu upon 2 minus 2 mu. So that should depend on the Poisson's ratio of material. So R by Z, we are understanding what is the R and what is the Z. R is the point prone to transverse load, and Z the depth of the horizontal plane. Stress below the line loads, that are the unit length. Right, line load means constant loads, Q per unit length. So in that case, if you want to find out the stress at point A, so we have to put the value of AZ is equal to 2qz square upon n into x square plus z square. We also can be written that equation as a az upon q by z is equal to 2 upon n 1 plus x by z square raised to whole bracket raised to square. So we are using that formula and we can find out that vertical stress due to line load. Another case is that vertical stress by the horizontal line load, and that are the transverse line load, right? That is the horizontal line load, and in the previous case we are understanding about the inclined line load. Vertical stress caused by the horizontal line load at a point A in the soil mass is caused by the horizontal line load is equal to 2q into z square upon n multiply by x square plus z square raised to 2. In that sense, we are using the value of x from the particular starting point of that load to its our located point, that we should have to calculate that our vertical stress, and that are the depth from the point of action of load. The term strip loading will be used to indicate a loading that has an infinite width along the x-axis but an infinite length along the y-axis. So the fundamental equations for the vertical stress increase at a point in a soil mass as a result of a line load can be used to determine the vertical stress at a point caused by the flexible strip load of width b. Vertical stress at point A can be determined by the equations. That are the point A, and vertical stress can be determined by the particular equations. Sigma z is equal to q0 upon pi alpha plus sin alpha cos alpha plus 2 beta. That are the vertical stress formula for the strip load. In that case, we have to identify the angle from that particular point alpha and beta. That should we can find out using the geometry and the any other graphical methods. Now that are the example of strip load. We are understanding that are the example of strip load. We have to calculate the stress at point A, B and C. That are the point A, B and C. Vertical stress due to embankment loading. Vertical stress increase in soil mass due to an embankment of 8H may be expressed as OZ is equal to Q0 upon pi A plus B upon A alpha 1 plus alpha 2 minus B upon A into alpha 2 bracket end. So in case of embankment loading, we are using the particular stress increase formula. Why we are saying that stress increase? Because there may be no condition beneath the soil mass, so stress is zero. જ્યારે કંઈ સોઇલ માસ હોય ત્યારે એમની અંદર સ્ટ્રેસ ઝીરો હોય એવી કન્ડિશન ના હોય. કંઈકનો કંઈક સ્ટ્રેસ તો હોય જ, પણ જે સ્ટ્રેસ છે એમાં કેટલો વધારો થાય છે એ આપણે ફાઇન્ડ કરીએ છીએ. એટલે આપણે વર્ટિકલ સ્ટ્રેસ ઇન્ક્રીઝ એવો વર્ડ વાપરીએ છીએ દરેક વખતે. બરોબર છે. Y is the unit weight of an embankment soil. Q0 is equal to Y into H. Q0 means total unit loading and H is equal to height of embankment. That are the another example for finding the stress increase in soil mass due to embankment. That are the embankment. Vertical stress due to uniformly loaded circular area. When we are putting the column on soil surface, that equation we should use for finding the stress increase in soil mass. The increase in a vertical stress at a depth z under the central of circular area of the diameter d is equal to 2r carrying a uniform pressure q is given by Az is equal to q bracket 1 minus 1 upon r by z square plus 1 raised to 3 by 2. Vertical stress due to uniformly loaded circular area, that are the area of particular loading section, and that are the value of q, like uniformly loading per unit area. And we have to find out that vertical stress at point A, or the increase in stress at point A due to that circular loaded area. 2. At any point, the increase in the vertical stress at any point located at depth z at distance r from the center of loaded area can be given as Az is equal to q au plus b raised to u, where the au and bu are the functions of z upon r and r upon r. So that should depend on the depth and the distance, right? Depth and the distance. Now see, there are the bu function, right? Like a b, that are the point b, and that are the bu. So the r is that particular distance from that point, and that are the depth z. So from the zr and rr, combination of zr and rr, that are the radius of that loaded circular area, and that are the distance of that particular point from the center of the loaded circular area. So that ratio is called capital R by R, and that ratio is called Z by R. So we have previously available Z by R and R by R. So we can find out the value of AU. That value shows the value of U. If the Z by R value is 1 and R by R value is 0.6, so we can find out the in column of 0.6. So we can use both the functions and we can find out the value of AU. Yes, same, we can use the Z by R and R by R function. We also find out the value of BU. That are the different values of BU with respect to Z by R and R by R. Vertical stress caused by the rectangular loaded area. That is the previous is the circular loaded area, that are the rectangular loaded area. The increase in the vertical stress at a depth z under a corner of rectangular area of dimension b is equal to mz and L is equal to nz. Carrying a uniform pressure Q is given by OZ is equal to Q0 into IZ. IZ is equal to influence factor depending on the ratio of L by Z and B by Z. So that are the formula. That should be some type of mistakes, like AZ we have to put here AZ. OZ is by mistake you are typing, and IZ is equal to influence factor depending on ratio of L by Z and B by Z. So vertical stress caused by the rectangular loaded area, the influence factor can be expressed as IZ. In the previous equation we should have to require the IZ, and QZ is the uniform load of that particular loading area. That should be given, but we should have to identify the IZ value, where the N is equal to L by Z and M is equal to B by Z. So that are the larger formula we have to use to find out the value of IZ. I found that may be some of the difficult to remaining that should many types of formula, but that is should be necessary if you have to writing the theory or the example in the examination. So that may be 10 to 12 formulas we should have to remember for all chapters. but that formula sometimes may be complicated with respect to your memory power. But we have to understand that formula, we have to practice that formula, so we can remember it easily. Vertical stress caused by the rectangular loaded area. If you want to find out the AZ by dividing the area into 4, point A is the corner common to all four rectangular. So that are the value, and we have to AZ1, AZ2, AZ3, we have to calculate the 4 portions of the stress, and QIZI. We have to find out the IZ value for each and every equal separate rectangulars. You are seen in the picture is that આપણે ચારે ચાર અલગ અલગ રેક્ટેન્ગ્યુલર એરિયા માટે ફાઇન્ડ આઉટ કરવું પડે. So for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is the value point of A point. And if you want to find out that particular loading, so we have to divide all the areas into the different segment by giving the number onto the different code 1, 5, 7, 8, 1, 7, 9, 3. That are the different 1, 7, 9, 3. That may be some of the type of mistakes, but that is the 1, 2, 3 and 4 separate portion we are considering. If we have available value of M and N, we also find out the value of IZ from the table. If you do not have to find out the different value of IZ by using that geometrical parameter, આપણે લંબાઈ પહોળાઈને કંઈ ધ્યાનમાં લીધા વગર ડાયરેક્ટલી IZ મેળવવું હોય તેના માટે ટેબલ્સ પણ હોય છે, અથવા તો ડાયરેક્ટલી આપેલું જ હોય છે. ટેબલ્સનો યુઝ પણ ઓછો થતો હોય, ટેબલ ક્યાંય આપવામાં આવતું નથી. બટ that are the table should be given with previous calculation N and M. We can directly find out value of IZ and we have available loadings. So we can directly put into that. That is the approximate method. The uniform footing B by L, we can estimate the change in vertical stress with depth using the Boston rule. Assume stress is at depth is constant below the foundation influence area. So AZ is equal to Q0 L into B upon L plus Z and B plus Z. Q0 is equal to P upon L multiplied by B. So that are the value of Q0. That are the rectangular surface, and we can by approximate, we are considering that are the slope 1/2, and we are assuming that all load transfer through that maximize cross section of slope 1/2. 2/1 method also see in the picture. We are considering that all the stress is transfer as per the 2/1 method, and we can calculate divide the whole stress with that area, and we can find out the approximate stress induced at a depth of Z. Next is the Newmark's method. Stress is due to foundation loads of arbitrary shape applied at the ground surface. Newmark's charts provide a graphical method for calculating the stress increases due to uniformly loaded region of arbitrarily shaped resisting on a deep homogeneous isotropic elastic region. The Newmark influence charts consist of concentric circles drawn on a scale. Each square contributes a fraction of stress. In most of charts, each square contributes 1 upon 2,200 units of stress. Influence value I. that are the graphical method in which we represent the stress diagrams. The use of chart is based on a factor termed as the influence value, determined from the number of units into which charts is subdivided. So R is the total value of R is the 1.91 unit. So we have to divide the influence value with 0.0005, means we have to divide 1.91 and divide with 0.0005. So that are the how much number of lines we are preparing for this fraction. The number of block on a chart is equal to 200 and the influence value is equal to 1 upon 200. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 into 20. So that may be a 10 blocks, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and larger block is 10. That are the chart boundary. In the one section that may be a 10 point and division is 20. 20 into 10 is 200. So the influence value is 1 upon 200. So we can, in the decimal format, we should say 0.005. The influence chart may be used to compute the pressure on element soil beneath the footing from pattern of footing, and for any depth below the footing it is only necessary to draw the footing pattern to a scale of Z is equal to length of AB of the chart. If the Z is equal to 6 meter, AB is equal to 30 meter, the scale is equal to 1 upon 200. The footing plan will be placed on the influence chart with the point for which the stress is desired at the center of the circle. The units enclosed by the footing are counted. The increase in stress at the depth Z is computed as Z is equal to Q0 I into N, where I is equal to influence factor of the chart and Q0 is equal to applied pressure on the area, and N is equal to number of units counted. So that are the Newmark's method. Now we should end the chapter. I hope you are understanding. That may be some of the difficulties during the understanding, because that is the totally based on that numerical portions or the theoretical portions of the calculations and that soil stress theories. So that may be a maximum number of formulas that should consist that portion, and we have to practice that examples by using on, and we are also conducting that doubt solving session for that video. So thank you. I hope you are enjoying this session. Thank you.